Master Self-Discipline. How to conquer yourself and achieve anything, written and published by Elevate Audiobooks. Introduction. Have you ever set a big goal, only to find yourself struggling to follow through? Maybe you've dreamed of achieving something extraordinary, but despite your best intentions, you found yourself stuck in a cycle of procrastination, distractions, and self-doubt. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people face the same challenge. The good news, the key to breaking this cycle and achieving anything you set your mind to, is mastering one powerful skill: self-discipline. Self-discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the ability to stay focused, to resist temptations, and to take consistent action, even when things get tough. But what exactly does it take to build and maintain self-discipline? This audiobook will show you how. Throughout the next chapters, you'll learn practical strategies to strengthen your willpower, develop habits that support your success, and overcome the obstacles that typically get in the way. You'll discover how to break free from procrastination, master time management, stay resilient in the face of setbacks, and build an environment that fosters discipline. This journey won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight. But as you implement the principles discussed, you will see tangible changes. Self-discipline isn't just about willpower. It's a mindset, a skill, and a practice that you can cultivate every day. By the end of this audiobook, you will have the tools to take control of your life, pursue your goals with confidence, and ultimately achieve things you once thought were beyond your reach. Are you ready to conquer yourself and unlock your true potential? Let's begin this transformative journey together. Chapter 1. Understanding self-discipline. Self-discipline is often misunderstood as a trait that only a few fortunate people possess. We may think of it as something that comes naturally to others, but is beyond our reach. In reality, self-discipline is a skill that anyone can develop with time, commitment, and practice. It is the ability to control your impulses, emotions, and behaviors to achieve long-term goals. It's about making choices that align with your values and aspirations, even when it's difficult, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. At its core, self-discipline is about consistency. It is the willingness to continue pushing forward, even when the initial excitement of a goal begins to fade. Self-discipline is the difference between setting a goal and actually achieving it. It's the ability to stick with your plan, maintain focus, and resist the distractions that threaten to derail your progress. Without self-discipline, even the best laid plans will fail. The importance of self-discipline can be seen in all aspects of life, from personal development to career success. Successful people, from athletes to entrepreneurs, consistently point to self-discipline as the key to their achievements. For example, consider someone like Michael Jordan, who is often cited as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. His natural talent was undeniable, but it was his self-discipline, his rigorous training schedule, commitment to improving his skills, and focus on long-term success that set him apart from others in the sport. Self-discipline is also crucial in our personal lives. It's what helps us stick to healthy habits, manage our finances, and create relationships based on mutual respect and trust. Whether it's resisting the temptation to eat junk food, saving for a big purchase, or maintaining a positive mindset in the face of adversity, self-discipline is the force that keeps us on track toward achieving our dreams. Now let's look at the difference between willpower and self-discipline. Willpower is often thought of as the ability to resist immediate temptations and act in line with our long-term goals. While willpower is important, it's also limited. It can easily be depleted throughout the day as we face challenges and distractions. On the other hand, self-discipline is a broader, more sustainable practice. It involves creating systems and habits that help us make the right choices, even when willpower is in short supply. Instead of relying solely on fleeting bursts of willpower, self-discipline builds a foundation that supports consistent goal-oriented actions over time. One of the keys to mastering self-discipline is understanding its psychological foundations. Our minds are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. which often leads us to make decisions based on short-term rewards. This is where self-discipline comes in. It's about overriding our natural impulses to focus on long-term goals. By consciously choosing actions that are aligned with our values and long-term desires, we create habits that make self-discipline easier over time. Self-discipline doesn't mean being perfect. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about making progress, not achieving perfection. No one is disciplined all the time, and that's okay. The key is getting back on track when we slip up and not allowing failure to define us. Each day is an opportunity to improve, to take another step toward mastery. Reflecting on our past experiences can help us understand how self-discipline has shaped our lives. Think about a time when you successfully achieved a goal, whether it was finishing a project, getting in better shape, or improving a skill. What helped you stay on track? What challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them? Identifying these moments can provide insight into the habits and mindsets that lead to success, helping you build a more disciplined approach to the future. In the next chapters, we will explore practical strategies to develop self-discipline, including how to build positive habits, overcome procrastination, and maintain focus when challenges arise. By understanding the fundamentals of self-discipline, you've taken the first step toward mastering it in your own life. The journey may not always be easy, but the rewards are well worth the effort. Chapter 2. The Power of Habits. Habits are the foundation of self-discipline. The way we behave day in and day out is largely determined by the habits we form. Our lives are built on these small, repetitive actions that we often don't think twice about. Whether it's brushing your teeth in the morning, making your bed, or checking your phone the moment you wake up, habits shape the course of our days. Understanding the power of habits and how to change them is a key step in mastering self-discipline. At their core, habits are automatic behaviors that arise in response to a cue or trigger. Psychologists have identified a three-part loop to habit formation: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is something that triggers the habit, such as waking up in the morning or feeling stressed. The routine is the behavior itself, like exercising, smoking, or eating. The reward is the feeling or outcome that reinforces the behavior, like a rush of endorphins after a workout, stress relief from smoking, or a temporary sense of satisfaction from eating unhealthy food. This loop, repeated over time, makes habits automatic, often occurring without conscious thought or effort. To change a habit, you must first recognize the cues that trigger it and understand the rewards it provides. Changing an old, unwanted habit and replacing it with a more positive one is not about simply stopping the behavior. It's about reprogramming the habit loop. For instance, if your goal is to quit smoking, the cue might be stress, the routine might be lighting up a cigarette, and the reward is a temporary sense of relief. To break the habit, you need to replace the cigarette with a healthier coping mechanism, like going for a walk or practicing deep breathing. By doing this repeatedly, the old habit will lose its power, and the new behavior will become ingrained as your new routine. The key to successful habit change is understanding that it takes time and patience. Studies have shown that it typically takes around 21 days to form a new habit, but the process can take longer depending on the complexity of the behavior. The most important thing is consistency. Every time you repeat a behavior, the new habit becomes a little stronger. But if you don't stick with it, the habit is likely to fade away. To build good habits, start small. Trying to overhaul your entire life in one go can feel overwhelming and lead to burnout. Instead, focus on one habit at a time. Begin with something manageable that will create momentum. For example, if you want to develop the habit of exercising daily, start with just 10 minutes a day. Once that becomes easy, gradually increase the time or intensity. By making the habit small and achievable, you're more likely to stick with it long enough for it to become a permanent part of your routine. Another important aspect of building good habits is tracking your progress. When we don't track our progress, it's easy to forget how far we've come and lose motivation. Using a habit tracker can provide visible evidence of your commitment and reinforce your self-discipline. Whether it's marking off days on a calendar, using a habit tracking app, or journaling about your progress, the act of tracking provides a sense of accomplishment and keeps you focused on your goal. One of the biggest obstacles to habit formation is the temptation to abandon our goals when things don't go as planned. Life often throws challenges our way, and the path to building new habits is rarely smooth. When you slip up, it's easy to feel discouraged and think that the habit change is impossible. However, self-discipline is not about being perfect. It's about resilience. The key to long-term success is learning to get back on track after a setback. If you miss a workout or eat junk food instead of a healthy meal, don't throw in the towel and give up entirely. Acknowledge the slip-up, but don't let it define your journey. It's the small, consistent actions you take over time that matter most. The process of habit formation and change is not only about willpower, but about creating an environment that supports your goals. For example, if your goal is to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious foods and remove junk food from easy reach. If you want to exercise in the mornings, lay out your workout clothes the night before. The environment around you plays a significant role in shaping your behavior. By setting up your environment to support the habits you want to build, you reduce the friction and make it easier to stay on track. The idea of habit stacking is another useful technique to reinforce positive behavior. Habit stacking involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For instance, if you already brush your teeth every morning, you can stack a new habit, like drinking a glass of water or doing a short stretching routine, right after brushing your teeth. By anchoring your new habit to something that's already ingrained in your routine, you're more likely to remember to do it and make it a regular part of your day. Over time, as you continue to build positive habits and break old, unproductive ones, you'll start to see the cumulative effect. The small actions you take each day will compound into significant long-term results. Imagine, for example, that you commit to reading just 10 pages of a book every day. Over the course of a month, you'll have read an entire book. Over a year, you'll have read 12 books. The same principle applies to all areas of life. Whether it's improving your health, advancing your career, or building meaningful relationships, consistent, small actions lead to big results. Self-discipline and habits go hand in hand. By understanding how habits work and actively shaping them, you're not just building self-discipline, you're creating a foundation for success. Every action you take, every habit you develop, is a step closer to mastering your life. The key is to stay consistent, be patient, and understand that change is a gradual process. By making habits work for you, you'll find that self-discipline becomes a natural part of who you are, and achieving your goals becomes easier than ever before. Chapter 3. Overcoming procrastination. Procrastination is one of the most common barriers to success. Almost everyone has experienced the frustration of putting off an important task, only to later scramble to get it done at the last minute. Whether it's avoiding work assignments, delaying decisions, or postponing personal projects, procrastination can significantly hinder progress and prevent us from achieving our goals. To master self-discipline, it's essential to understand why procrastination happens and how to overcome it. At its core, procrastination is a form of avoidance. It's the tendency to delay tasks that require effort, especially those that seem difficult, unpleasant, or overwhelming. It might not feel like it in the moment, but procrastination is a way of coping with discomfort. When faced with a task that we find intimidating or unenjoyable, our brains instinctively seek out more pleasurable, less stressful activities. This could mean scrolling through social media, watching TV, or even doing less urgent tasks to avoid the one that feels more taxing. In the short term, these distractions provide relief from the discomfort of the task at hand, but in the long run, they only build up stress and prevent us from moving forward. One of the reasons procrastination is so persistent is because of the way our brains are wired. We are naturally drawn to immediate gratification and avoid discomfort. This is part of our survival instincts, designed to prioritize short-term rewards over long-term goals. The problem is that modern tasks, like finishing a project or sticking to a fitness routine, don't offer instant rewards, and thus our brains have trouble prioritizing them. This is why tasks that seem daunting or lack immediate positive feedback are often pushed aside in favor of easier, more gratifying activities. Another significant factor in procrastination is the fear of failure. When faced with a task that feels overwhelming or uncertain, the fear of not doing it perfectly can cause us to avoid starting altogether. This is especially true for perfectionists who worry about not living up to their own or others' expectations. Ironically, this perfectionist mindset only increases procrastination because the longer we delay, the higher the pressure mounts. The fear of failure makes it harder to begin, creating a vicious cycle of avoidance, guilt, and anxiety. So, how can we break the cycle of procrastination? The first step is recognizing the underlying reasons for it. Understanding that procrastination is often a form of avoidance, fueled by fear or discomfort, helps us approach the problem with more compassion and less self-judgment. Once we acknowledge why we're procrastinating, we can take steps to overcome it. A key strategy for overcoming procrastination is breaking tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. One of the biggest reasons we put things off is because the task seems too big or overwhelming. But when we break it down into smaller chunks, it becomes less intimidating. Instead of thinking, "I have to write a 20-page report," reframe it as, "I need to write the introduction first," or even, "I need to write 300 words today." By focusing on small, achievable goals, the task becomes more approachable, and the sense of progress helps build momentum. Another powerful technique is the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that encourages working in focused bursts with short breaks in between. The idea is to work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After completing 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique helps combat procrastination by making work feel less daunting and more structured. The timer creates a sense of urgency, and the breaks provide much-needed relief, preventing burnout and keeping focus high. For tasks that feel particularly difficult or uncomfortable, it's helpful to shift our mindset and focus on the process rather than the outcome. Often procrastination arises from the pressure we place on ourselves to perform perfectly. Instead of thinking about how important the task is, focus on simply starting and allow yourself to take imperfect action. As the saying goes, the hardest part is often getting started. Once we begin, the momentum usually carries us through, and the fear of failure diminishes. Another technique for overcoming procrastination is accountability. Having someone to check in with or share progress can be a powerful motivator. Whether it's a friend, colleague, or mentor, knowing that someone else is aware of your goals can push you to stay on track. Accountability doesn't just apply to others, it can also be self-imposed. Setting public deadlines or telling someone about your goals creates a sense of responsibility and adds external pressure that can motivate action. It's also important to recognize the role of self-compassion in overcoming procrastination. We often procrastinate because we feel overwhelmed, stressed, or anxious. In these moments, instead of being harsh on ourselves, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that it's okay to feel imperfect or not have everything figured out. By treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, we reduce the emotional burden that contributes to procrastination. A significant part of overcoming procrastination is building self-discipline in small, consistent actions. Developing the habit of doing the hard things first, even when it's uncomfortable, strengthens our ability to resist procrastination over time. The more we practice this, the easier it becomes to get started on tasks and push through the discomfort. The act of just showing up and doing the work, whether it's writing, exercising, or cleaning, slowly builds a routine that supports our self-discipline and reduces the temptation to procrastinate. In some cases, Procrastination may also stem from a lack of motivation or clarity around the task. If you find yourself frequently procrastinating on certain tasks, ask yourself why they matter. What is the deeper purpose behind them? Connecting tasks to a bigger picture or personal values can reignite motivation and make the task feel more meaningful. It may be helpful to remind yourself why you want to complete the task in the first place, whether it's advancing in your career, improving your health, or achieving a personal goal. Lastly, remember that overcoming procrastination is a process, not a one-time fix. Like any other aspect of self-discipline, it requires practice and persistence. You may stumble along the way, but that's okay. The key is to keep going, be patient with yourself, and learn from each experience. Procrastination is a habit, and just like any other habit, it can be changed with time, effort, and consistency. By breaking tasks down, managing your time effectively, embracing imperfection, and holding yourself accountable, you can overcome procrastination and make steady progress toward your goals. Chapter 4. The role of self-control. Self-control is one of the most essential elements of self-discipline. It is the ability to resist the temptation to take the easy route or indulge in short-term pleasures in favor of long-term goals. Simply put, self-control is the foundation of our ability to make decisions that align with our values and aspirations, even when those choices are difficult. Whether it's choosing a healthy meal over junk food, deciding to study instead of watching TV, or sticking to a fitness routine when you're tired. Self-control is the muscle that allows us to make decisions that push us toward growth and success. At first glance, self-control may seem like a trait that some people are just born with. We often see people who seem naturally disciplined, those who are able to resist distractions, stay focused on their goals, and act with purpose every day. However, self-control is not a rare gift. It is a skill that anyone can cultivate and improve with practice. Like any other muscle in the body, self-control can be trained and strengthened over time. The science behind self-control lies in understanding how our brain processes rewards. The brain is wired to seek immediate gratification. This is part of our evolutionary survival mechanism. In the past, our ancestors' brains were designed to prioritize immediate rewards like food or safety to ensure their survival. While this instinct was helpful in a primitive environment, in today's world, it can work against us. Many of our goals, whether personal or professional, require delaying gratification and making decisions that lead to long-term success, rather than giving in to the short-term pleasure of distractions. This clash between short-term pleasure and long-term gain is where self-control comes into play. Practicing self-control means overriding the brain's natural inclination for instant rewards and focusing on the bigger picture. It's about making choices today that lead to greater success, happiness, and fulfillment in the future. The ability to practice self-control consistently is often what separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. However, self-control is not infinite. Research has shown that willpower, the psychological fuel that drives self-control, can be depleted. It's called ego depletion, and it refers to the idea that using self-control drains our mental resources, just like a muscle gets tired after exertion. This means that after making a series of disciplined choices throughout the day, our ability to make good decisions diminishes. This is why people often find it harder to resist temptations later in the day, or after they've already exerted a lot of self-control. Understanding that self-control is limited can help us approach it more strategically, knowing that we need to conserve our mental energy for the most important decisions. One of the most effective ways to enhance self-control is by building habits that make good decisions automatic. When we rely on willpower alone, it's easy to get overwhelmed or slip up, especially when fatigue sets in. But when we develop habits that align with our goals, we reduce the need for constant decision-making and decrease the mental effort required to stay on track. For example, someone who wants to eat healthier doesn't need to decide every day whether or not to have junk food. By planning meals in advance and creating a routine that includes healthy eating, the decision is already made. and the willpower required to stick to it is minimal. Creating routines is a powerful way to conserve self-control. By scheduling key tasks or activities at specific times, we remove the decision-making process and prevent procrastination. For instance, setting a specific time to exercise every day, such as in the morning before work, makes it a non-negotiable part of your day. The more you can structure your life to include positive, productive habits, the less you will have to rely on willpower to make the right decisions. This is why successful people, like athletes, CEOs or artists, often emphasize the importance of routines. Their days are filled with automatic habits that keep them focused on their goals without requiring constant decision-making. Another technique for strengthening self-control is practicing delayed gratification. This is the ability to wait for a reward or pleasure that is more satisfying in the long run, rather than seeking immediate fleeting rewards. One way to practice delayed gratification is by setting up small, achievable rewards for yourself once you complete a task or reach a milestone. For example, you might allow yourself a special treat or a break after completing a workout, finishing a project, or working for a set period of time. By consistently practicing delayed gratification, you train your mind to focus on the long-term benefits of staying disciplined. In addition to structuring your environment and practicing delayed gratification, it's also important to recognize and address the root causes of poor self-control. Emotional triggers are one of the biggest obstacles to maintaining self-discipline. Stress, anxiety, boredom, or frustration can all lead to impulsive decisions and a lack of self-control. When we're in an emotional state, it's easy to seek out temporary relief through unhealthy behaviors, such as overeating, excessive spending, or avoiding responsibilities. Recognizing these emotional triggers is an essential step in regaining control. Once you identify the situations that cause you to lose self-control, you can begin to create healthier coping mechanisms. For example, if you tend to indulge in unhealthy food when you're feeling stressed, consider replacing that habit with something more constructive, like going for a walk, practicing mindfulness, or journaling. Developing healthier emotional coping strategies will help you resist the urge to give in to impulsive behaviors and instead choose actions that align with your goals. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for enhancing self-control. Being present in the moment and aware of your thoughts and feelings can help you recognize when you're being tempted or about to make a poor decision. By practicing mindfulness, you create space between the impulse to act and the actual behavior, allowing you to make a more intentional, thoughtful choice. Whether it's taking a deep breath before making a decision, or pausing to reflect on your long-term goals, mindfulness helps strengthen self-control by keeping you grounded in the present moment. Finally, building self-compassion is a crucial component of self-control. When we slip up or make mistakes, it's easy to fall into negative self-talk, which can undermine our self-control. Instead of being harsh on yourself, practice self-compassion. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes, and that it's okay to have setbacks. What matters is how you respond. By forgiving yourself and using the experience as a learning opportunity, you can move forward with renewed determination and focus. Self-control is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about consistently making decisions that align with your values and goals, even when it's hard. The more you practice self-control, the easier it becomes, and over time, you'll build a strong foundation of self-discipline that supports your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to. Chapter 5. Time Management Strategies. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, and yet it's often the one we manage the worst. Whether it's work tasks, personal goals, or daily obligations, we all face the challenge of balancing multiple demands on our time. The key to overcoming this challenge and building self-discipline is mastering time management. By learning how to use our time wisely, we can make steady progress toward our goals and ensure that we focus on what matters most. At the core of effective time management is understanding that time is finite. Every day, we are given the same 24 hours, and how we choose to use that time can have a profound impact on our success. Time management is not about squeezing every minute out of the day, but about prioritizing and focusing on the tasks that move us closer to our long-term objectives. When we fail to manage our time, we end up wasting hours on distractions, feeling overwhelmed, and making little to no progress toward our goals. This is where time management strategies come in. They help us take control of our day and direct our energy toward productive actions. The first step in effective time management is identifying your priorities. When we're busy with numerous tasks, it's easy to get caught up in the urgency of the moment and start working on things that aren't aligned with our larger goals. To combat this, you need to take a step back and assess what truly matters. Ask yourself, what are my most important long-term goals? What tasks will bring me closer to those goals? Once you've identified your priorities, you can start focusing your time and energy on the activities that will have the greatest impact on your success. Once you've identified your priorities, the next step is to break your tasks into manageable chunks. One of the most common reasons people struggle with time management is that tasks can feel overwhelming, especially when they involve large projects or long-term goals. When a task seems too big or complex, it's easy to put it off or avoid it altogether. This is where the principle of breaking tasks down into smaller steps becomes crucial. Instead of thinking about a huge project, focus on completing one small part at a time. For example, if your goal is to write a book, instead of thinking about writing an entire manuscript, focus on writing one chapter or even one page. By focusing on smaller manageable tasks, you can make steady progress and reduce the feeling of overwhelm. Another effective time management strategy is the Pomodoro technique, which encourages you to work in short, focused intervals with scheduled breaks. The Pomodoro technique works by setting a timer for 25 minutes, known as a Pomodoro, and working on a task without interruption. After 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break to relax, stretch, or do something else. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break, 15-30 minutes. This technique not only helps you maintain focus, but also combats mental fatigue by giving you regular intervals of rest. The Pomodoro technique is particularly useful for tasks that require sustained focus, such as writing, studying, or problem solving. In addition to breaking tasks down and using time blocking techniques like Pomodoro, another powerful method for managing your time is time blocking. This involves scheduling specific blocks of time for each task or activity throughout your day. For example, you might block out 9 o'clock, 10 a.m. for answering emails, 10:30, 12 p.m. for deep work on a project, and 1 o'clock, 2 p.m. for meetings. By allocating specific times for each task, you eliminate the need to decide what to do next and create a sense of structure in your day. Time blocking also helps you prioritize tasks by ensuring that important activities get the time and focus they deserve. While time blocking and task prioritization are key to effective time management, another aspect to consider is eliminating distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, from smartphones and social media to noisy environments and multitasking. Distractions can derail your focus and significantly reduce your productivity. To manage your time effectively, it's essential to minimize distractions whenever possible. One way to do this is by setting boundaries with technology. For example, turn off notifications on your phone, put your phone in another room, or use apps that block distracting websites while you're working. By minimizing distractions, you'll be able to stay focused on the task at hand and accomplish more in less time. Another useful strategy is the 2-minute rule, which is a simple yet effective technique to tackle small tasks that often get overlooked. The 2-minute rule states that if a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This could be as simple as responding to an email, making a quick phone call, or filing a document. By taking care of small tasks immediately, you prevent them from piling up and cluttering your to-do list. This technique helps you stay on top of daily tasks and keeps your momentum going. Chapter 6. Motivation versus discipline. Motivation is often seen as the driving force behind success. We hear countless stories of people who were able to achieve their dreams because they were highly motivated. Whether it's athletes training for the Olympics or entrepreneurs building successful businesses, we tend to believe that motivation is what propels people forward. However, while motivation can provide an initial boost, it is not a reliable or sustainable source of energy over the long term. The truth is, motivation is fleeting and unreliable, while discipline is what keeps us on track when motivation fades away. Motivation is an emotional state, often influenced by external factors such as rewards, praise, or even the excitement of beginning a new project. In the beginning, motivation can feel exhilarating. We are filled with energy and enthusiasm, ready to take on challenges and accomplish our goals. However, motivation often peaks early and begins to dwindle as time goes on. It's easy to feel motivated when things are new, exciting, and full of potential. But what happens when the initial thrill wears off, or when obstacles and setbacks arise? That's when motivation tends to fade, and many people find themselves struggling to stay committed to their goals. This is where discipline comes in. Unlike motivation, discipline is not reliant on external factors or fleeting emotions. Discipline is the ability to maintain focus and take consistent action, even when motivation wanes or when things become difficult. It is the practice of doing what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Where motivation is often tied to moments of inspiration, discipline is what keeps you going even when the spark of motivation is nowhere to be found. Discipline allows you to stick to your routines, stay productive, and continue working toward your goals, even when you don't feel like it. The key to understanding the difference between motivation and discipline is recognizing that motivation is temporary, while discipline is a long-term solution. When you rely solely on motivation, you are constantly at the mercy of your feelings. You may feel inspired one day, but the next day, your energy might be low, and your motivation might fade. This inconsistency can make it difficult to achieve lasting results. Discipline, on the other hand, is about building habits, routines, and systems that allow you to keep moving forward, regardless of how motivated you feel. By cultivating discipline, you create a foundation that supports your progress, even on days when motivation is absent. One of the most important aspects of developing discipline is understanding the role of habits. Successful people don't wait for motivation to strike. They build habits that guide their actions and keep them on track. Habits are behaviors that become automatic with repetition. Once a habit is formed, it no longer requires the same level of mental effort or motivation. For example, someone who has developed the habit of exercising every morning doesn't rely on motivation to get out of bed and work out. They simply do it because it has become a routine. This is the power of discipline. It turns positive behaviors into ingrained habits, reducing the need for constant willpower. Building positive habits is a key strategy for strengthening discipline. To do this, you need to start small and be consistent. Rather than focusing on big, overwhelming changes, break your goals down into manageable tasks that you can do every day. For instance, if you want to get in shape, don't start with an intense workout routine that you can't sustain. Instead, begin by committing to just 10 minutes of exercise a day. Over time, this small, consistent action will build into a habit, and as your body gets used to the routine, you can gradually increase the intensity. The key is to focus on consistency rather than relying on motivation to push you through. Another important element of building discipline is setting clear, realistic goals. Having a clear sense of purpose and direction can help you stay focused, even when motivation fades. When you know exactly what you're working toward, it's easier to stick with the process, even if it's not always exciting. Instead of focusing on the end result, focus on the daily actions you need to take to get there. Break your long-term goals down into smaller, achievable steps, and celebrate each milestone along the way. By making progress, no matter how small, you create a sense of accomplishment that reinforces your discipline and keeps you motivated in the long run. It's also essential to develop strategies for when motivation is low. This is where the concept of doing it anyway comes into play. When you don't feel motivated, the best thing you can do is take action anyway. This doesn't mean pushing yourself to the extreme, but it does mean doing something, no matter how small, to move forward. Sometimes, just starting can be the hardest part. If you're feeling unmotivated to work on a project, commit to working for just 5 minutes. Often, once you begin, the momentum will carry you through, and the task will feel less daunting. The key is to break through the inertia and get started, even if you don't feel like it. In addition to taking action, another way to strengthen your discipline is by establishing an environment that supports your goals. The people you surround yourself with, the tools and resources you have access to, and the physical space you work in can all influence your ability to stay disciplined. For instance, if you want to build the habit of reading every day, create an environment that makes it easy to do so. Keep books within reach, set aside a specific time each day to read, and minimize distractions during that time. The less effort it takes to engage in your desired behavior, the easier it will be to stay disciplined and maintain focus. Building discipline also requires mental toughness. This means learning to embrace discomfort, push through resistance, and remain committed to your goals, even when it's hard. Mental toughness is the ability to keep going when things get difficult, to persist through challenges, and to continue making progress even when obstacles arise. This is where discipline shines. It allows you to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, and to stay focused on the bigger picture. One of the best ways to build mental toughness is to practice self-compassion. Understand that you will face setbacks and that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. Instead of beating yourself up or giving up entirely, use each setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. Cultivating self-compassion will help you stay disciplined over the long term, as you'll be able to bounce back from failures without losing motivation or focus. In conclusion, motivation and discipline are both important, but they serve different roles. Motivation provides the spark, but discipline is what keeps you going when the excitement fades. By building habits, setting clear goals, taking action even when motivation is low, and developing mental toughness, you can cultivate the kind of discipline that leads to lasting success. Remember, discipline is not about perfection, it's about consistency, resilience, and the ability to keep moving forward, even when the going gets tough. Chapter 7. Building a strong foundation. Building a strong foundation is the first crucial step toward mastering self-discipline and achieving long-term success. Without a solid base, it's easy to get off track, lose focus, or abandon your goals when obstacles arise. A strong foundation is made up of clear goals, a well-defined purpose, and the right mindset. It's about establishing the values and habits that will guide you through challenges and keep you anchored in your pursuit of success. In this chapter, we will explore the essential components of building that foundation and how they can set you up for a lifetime of self-discipline. At the core of any successful endeavor is a clear sense of purpose. Without a strong why behind your actions, it becomes difficult to stay motivated and committed over time. Purpose provides direction and meaning, which acts as a compass to guide you when things get tough. Think about it. If you don't know why you're working towards something, it's easy to lose sight of your goals and become distracted by short-term temptations. Purpose serves as the driving force that sustains you through the inevitable obstacles and setbacks that arise along the way. To build a strong foundation, take some time to reflect on your values and long-term vision. What do you want to achieve in life? And why is it important to you? The answers to these questions should be personal and meaningful. For example, if you're working toward a fitness goal, your purpose may be to improve your health, feel more confident, or increase your energy levels to be more present for your family. When your goals are anchored in a deeper sense of purpose, you are more likely to stay disciplined and motivated, even when challenges arise. Once you've identified your purpose, the next step is to set clear and achievable goals. Goals give your purpose structure and create a roadmap to follow. Without clear goals, your sense of purpose can feel vague, and it becomes hard to measure progress or know where to direct your efforts. Effective goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART. This framework helps ensure that your goals are realistic and achievable, providing you with clear markers of success along the way. When setting goals, think about both the big picture and the smaller milestones that will get you there. For example, if your long-term goals is to run a marathon, break it down into smaller, manageable steps like running a 5K, then a 10K, and so on. By setting these incremental milestones, you make the journey feel less overwhelming and more achievable. Each small success builds momentum and reinforces the habit of taking consistent action toward your goal. This also allows you to celebrate small victories along the way, which boosts your confidence and motivation to continue. In addition to setting goals, a strong foundation requires developing a positive mindset. Our mindset plays a critical role in how we approach challenges and setbacks. A fixed mindset can lead to self-doubt, fear of failure, and a lack of resilience. On the other hand, a growth mindset enables us to embrace challenges, learn from failure, and view setbacks as opportunities for growth. By cultivating a growth mindset, you can approach every task with curiosity and determination, knowing that every effort is a step toward improvement. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and character can be developed through hard work, practice, and learning. This belief empowers you to take risks, persist through challenges, and adopt a lifelong learning mentality. When you approach obstacles with a growth mindset, you are less likely to be discouraged by failure and more likely to find creative solutions to problems. Embrace the idea that you don't need to be perfect. What matters is that you keep improving, even if the progress is slow. Equally important in building a strong foundation is creating good habits that support your goals. Habits are the building blocks of self-discipline. They are the automatic actions that you take every day, whether you're consciously thinking about them or not. The more positive habits you develop, the easier it becomes to stay disciplined and focused on your goals. Think about it. If you have a habit of exercising every morning, it requires less willpower to get started. The action becomes automatic, and the energy required to stay consistent is reduced. To develop good habits, start small. Trying to change everything at once can be overwhelming and counterproductive. Instead, focus on one habit at a time and commit to it for at least 21 days, the typical amount of time it takes to form a new habit. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, start by committing to a 10-minute workout every day. Once that becomes a routine, you can gradually increase the duration or intensity. By making habits small and achievable, you ensure that they are sustainable over time. Another key to building a strong foundation is time management. Time is a limited resource, and how you manage it has a direct impact on your ability to stay disciplined and productive. Without a time management system, it's easy to feel scattered, waste time on distractions, and lose focus on your most important tasks. One of the best ways to manage your time is to schedule it intentionally. Block out time for your most important tasks, and treat those time blocks as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. This prevents other, less important tasks from hijacking your day and keeps you focused on what matters most. In addition to scheduling time, it's essential to learn how to prioritize effectively. Not all tasks are created equal, and not all of them contribute equally to your long-term goals. Use tools like the Eisenhower matrix to evaluate and prioritize what truly matters. By focusing on tasks that align with your long-term vision, you avoid getting bogged down by distractions and busy work. It's also important to remember that sometimes saying no to less important tasks is just as valuable as saying yes to the right ones. Building a strong foundation also requires understanding the importance of rest and recovery. Many people believe that the key to success is constant hustle and working tirelessly. But this approach can quickly lead to burnout. Rest is essential for both physical and mental recovery. Without adequate rest, your productivity and decision-making abilities suffer, and your discipline begins to wane. Schedule time for breaks, relaxation, and self-care, so that you can recharge and come back to your tasks with renewed energy and focus. Finally, remember that building a strong foundation is a continual process. It's not about creating a perfect plan or achieving instant success, but rather about establishing consistent habits and a mindset that will support you over the long term. There will be setbacks along the way, and you may encounter obstacles that challenge your resolve. However, with a clear sense of purpose, a growth mindset, solid goals, and good habits, you'll have a strong foundation to keep you grounded and moving forward, no matter what. Chapter 8. Mastering Focus and Concentration. In our fast-paced world filled with distractions, the ability to focus and concentrate is more valuable than ever. Without focus, even the most well-planned goals and strategies can fall by the wayside. Distractions are constantly competing for our attention, whether it's the ping of a notification on our phone, the constant stream of emails, or the lure of social media. In order to build self-discipline and achieve our goals, we must master the art of focus and concentration. This chapter will explore strategies for improving focus, eliminating distractions, and maintaining sustained attention on tasks that matter most. At the heart of focus is the ability to block out distractions and direct all of your mental energy toward the task at hand. Focus is not just about being able to sit down and work for hours on end. It's about actively engaging with your work and being fully present in the moment. When you focus, you are able to work more efficiently, produce higher quality results, and move closer to your goals faster. In contrast, when your attention is scattered, even simple tasks can become overwhelming, and progress feels slow or non-existent. The first step to improving focus is to understand how distractions affect us. Studies have shown that every time we are interrupted, whether by an email, a text message, or a passing thought, it takes time for our brains to refocus and get back to the task. This means that constant multitasking or switching between tasks actually reduces productivity, because our brains are constantly shifting gears. It's important to recognize that multitasking is a myth. While we may think we are being more productive by handling several things at once, we are actually spreading our attention too thin, which leads to errors, mistakes, and wasted time. One of the most effective ways to improve focus is to prioritize deep work. Deep work refers to the state of focused, uninterrupted work that allows you to make significant progress on complex tasks. This type of work requires sustained attention and mental effort, and it's often when the most important and meaningful work is done. To achieve deep work, you need to create an environment that supports concentration. This means eliminating distractions, setting clear intentions, and committing to long, uninterrupted work sessions. One powerful technique for focusing is time blocking. This involves scheduling specific blocks of time throughout your day for focused work, during which you are fully dedicated to one task. By time blocking your day, you remove the need to constantly decide what to do next, and you ensure that you are dedicating time to the tasks that truly matter. For example, you might time block your morning hours for writing, your early afternoon for meetings, and your evening for relaxation or exercise. Time blocking also helps reduce the temptation to check emails or social media, because you have already allocated time for these activities at a later point in the day. Another powerful technique is the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in short, focused intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This method helps maintain high levels of focus and productivity by preventing mental fatigue. The short intervals keep your brain engaged, while the breaks give you a chance to recharge before returning to your work. The Pomodoro technique works well for tasks that require sustained attention, such as writing, studying, or problem solving. By using a timer, You create a sense of urgency that encourages you to focus during the work interval and take full advantage of the break when it comes. In addition to creating a structured work routine, another important aspect of mastering focus is managing your environment. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to concentrate. A cluttered workspace, noisy surroundings, or the constant presence of your phone can make it nearly impossible to focus on deep work. To improve your focus, start by minimizing distractions in your physical environment. This might mean cleaning your desk, organizing your workspace, or turning off unnecessary notifications on your phone. If possible, designate a specific area of your home or office for focused work, so that you can mentally associate that space with concentration and productivity. It's also important to eliminate digital distractions, which are often a major source of interruption. Social media, email, and other online distractions can pull your attention away from your work and derail your progress. To manage these distractions, consider using apps that block distracting websites or limit your access to social media during certain times of the day. You can also schedule specific blocks of time for checking emails or social media, so that these tasks don't take over your entire day. By setting boundaries around your digital consumption, you can protect your focus and ensure that your time is spent on tasks that align with your goals. In addition to managing your physical environment, mental clarity plays a crucial role in focus. If your mind is cluttered with worries, anxieties, or unresolved thoughts, it will be difficult to concentrate on the task at hand. One of the best ways to improve mental focus is through mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This could involve focusing on your breath, practicing meditation, or simply taking a moment to check in with yourself and release any mental distractions. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you train your brain to focus more effectively and reduce the mental noise that can interfere with concentration. Another key element of improving focus is managing your energy. Your ability to concentrate is directly linked to your physical and mental energy levels. If you're tired, stressed, or mentally drained, it will be much harder to stay focused on important tasks. To maintain high levels of focus, it's essential to prioritize self-care, rest, and recovery. This includes getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, exercising regularly, and taking breaks throughout the day. Taking care of your body and mind will help you maintain the energy required for sustained focus and concentration. In addition to managing your energy, setting clear intentions can help improve focus. When you begin each task or work session, take a moment to clarify what you want to accomplish. Set specific, measurable goals for the session, such as writing 500 words, completing a report, or solving a problem. Having clear intentions gives you a sense of purpose and helps direct your attention to the task at hand. This also helps you avoid the temptation to jump between tasks or get sidetracked by distractions. One of the biggest obstacles to focus is the urge to procrastinate. Often when we feel overwhelmed or uncertain about a task, we avoid it by engaging in less important activities. To combat procrastination and maintain focus, try the 2-minute rule. If a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This helps reduce the buildup of small tasks and keeps you on track. If a task requires more time, break it down into smaller steps and start with the first one. The key is to start, no matter how small the initial effort may be. Finally, remember that improving focus and concentration is an ongoing practice. It's not about being perfect, it's about consistently working to eliminate distractions, create a focused environment, and take intentional action toward your goals. With time and practice, your ability to concentrate will improve, and you'll find it easier to stay disciplined and productive. Chapter 9. Creating a distraction-free environment. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. From constant notifications on our smartphones to the noise of a busy office or home environment, it's harder than ever to focus and stay on track with our goals. Whether we're working, studying, or trying to stick to a new habit, distractions can derail our efforts and hinder our productivity. One of the most effective ways to master self-discipline and stay focused is to create a distraction-free environment. This chapter will explore strategies for minimizing distractions, optimizing your workspace, and cultivating an environment that supports your goals. The first step in creating a distraction-free environment is recognizing the sources of distraction around you. Distractions come in many forms, but the most common ones are digital, physical, and mental. Digital distractions include social media, email, and the constant stream of notifications that pull our attention away from important tasks. Physical distractions can be anything from a cluttered desk to noisy surroundings or people who interrupt your work. Mental distractions often arise from stress, anxiety, or an overwhelmed mind. Identifying these distractions is the first step in eliminating them. Once you've recognized the distractions in your environment, it's time to take action to remove or minimize them. Start with your digital environment. In today's age, our phones and computers are the most significant sources of distractions. Notifications from apps, messages, and emails constantly demand our attention, interrupting our flow and pulling us away from deep work. To combat this, consider turning off non-essential notifications. For example, you can mute notifications for social media apps or set your phone to Do Not Disturb mode while you're working. This prevents you from being constantly interrupted and allows you to maintain focus on your task. If you find yourself getting pulled into social media or other time-wasting websites, consider using apps like Freedom, Cold Turkey, that block distracting websites for a set period. These tools can help you resist the urge to check your phone or browse the web when you need to focus. Additionally, scheduling specific times to check emails or social media, for example, once in the morning and once in the afternoon, can help you avoid the temptation to check them constantly throughout the day. By creating boundaries around your digital consumption, you regain control of your time and attention. In addition to managing your digital distractions, it's crucial to optimize your physical environment. A cluttered workspace can significantly impact your ability to focus. When your desk is piled with papers, books, or random objects, your brain becomes overwhelmed by the mess, and it's harder to concentrate on the task at hand. Take the time to organize your workspace and remove anything that isn't directly related to the task you're working on. Keep only the essentials on your desk, such as your computer, notebooks, or pens. If you don't need certain items, put them away or store them in drawers. Another important aspect of your physical environment is the noise level. If you work in a noisy environment, it can be difficult to maintain focus, especially if you're trying to complete complex tasks. Consider using noise-canceling headphones to block out background noise, or listen to calming music or white noise. There are many apps and playlists available that are designed to help you concentrate, such as Brain.fm or Lo-fi Beats. If you work in a shared space, communicate with others about your need for a quiet environment and set boundaries around noise and interruption. In some cases, you may need to create a designated workspace. Having a specific area where you work or study helps your brain associate that space with productivity. If you work from home, for example, set up a dedicated desk or a separate area for your tasks. Avoid working in places associated with relaxation, such as your bed or couch. By creating a clear distinction between spaces for work and relaxation, you can train your brain to focus when you're in your designated workspace and relax when you're in other areas of your home. It's also important to manage visual distractions. The things around you can have a significant impact on your focus. Bright colors, excessive clutter, or too much visual stimulation can prevent your brain from staying engaged with the task. Consider simplifying your workspace by using neutral colors and minimal decor. This doesn't mean your space has to be sterile, but a clean, organized, and visually calm environment can help you focus better. If you find that visual clutter is distracting, consider keeping your desk clear, using storage solutions for papers, and keeping personal items out of sight while you're working. Beyond physical and digital distractions, mental distractions are another major barrier to focus. When your mind is cluttered with worries, to-do lists, or stress, it can be difficult to concentrate on your work. One of the best ways to manage mental distractions is through mindfulness. Mindfulness involves staying present in the moment and being aware of your thoughts without judgment. By practicing mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing, meditation, or body scanning, you can calm your mind and create space for focus. Taking a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness can help reduce anxiety, improve mental clarity, and increase your ability to concentrate on the task at hand. Another technique for reducing mental distractions is to write down your thoughts. When you're overwhelmed by a long to-do list or worry about something unrelated to your work, jotting down your thoughts can help clear your mind and refocus your attention. Keep a notebook or digital document where you can quickly capture your ideas, worries, or tasks for later. Once they are written down, you can set them aside and return to your work, knowing that you won't forget them. This practice helps prevent mental clutter from interfering with your ability to concentrate. Creating a distraction-free environment also involves setting boundaries with the people around you. If you work in a shared space or have family members or roommates at home, it's essential to communicate your need for focus time. Let others know when you're working and establish clear boundaries around interruptions. Set expectations for when it's okay to talk to you and when you need uninterrupted time. If necessary, create a physical barrier, such as a closed door or a sign that indicates when you're in focus mode. One final component of a distraction-free environment is managing your energy. A cluttered or distracting environment can drain your energy and make it harder to focus. In addition to organizing your space, ensure that you're taking care of your physical and mental well-being. Get enough sleep, eat nourishing foods, exercise regularly, and take breaks throughout the day. When your body is well rested and energized, your mind is better equipped to handle distractions and stay focused. In conclusion, creating a distraction-free environment is essential for building self-discipline and staying focused on your goals. By identifying and eliminating digital, physical, and mental distractions, you can optimize your workspace and cultivate an environment that supports your productivity. Organizing your surroundings, managing your digital consumption, practicing mindfulness, and setting boundaries will help you maintain focus and achieve your goals more effectively. A distraction-free environment is a powerful tool for improving your concentration and supporting your journey toward success. Chapter 10. Mindset and Mental Toughness. A key aspect of self-discipline is the ability to stay strong, focused, and resilient in the face of challenges. This ability stems not only from habits and routines, but from the mental toughness and mindset we cultivate. Mental toughness is the foundation of our ability to persevere through obstacles, maintain control over our emotions, and stay focused on long-term goals. In this chapter, we will explore how mindset and mental toughness play a critical role in achieving self-discipline and how you can develop these traits to enhance your personal growth and success. At its core, mental toughness is the capacity to withstand and recover from difficult situations. It's about staying positive and focused even when things don't go as planned. In the face of setbacks, mental toughness allows you to keep pushing forward without getting discouraged. It's the ability to perform at your best under pressure and to keep striving toward your goals, despite the inevitable hardships and failures that will arise along the way. Mental toughness isn't about being invulnerable to failure or stress. Rather, it's about how you respond when challenges present themselves. The first step in building mental toughness is cultivating a growth mindset. The concept of a growth mindset, introduced by psychologist Carol Dweck, is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through dedication, effort, and learning. People with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities to improve rather than as threats to their success. This perspective shift is incredibly powerful when it comes to maintaining self-discipline, as it encourages persistence and adaptability in the face of obstacles. In contrast, A fixed mindset is the belief that our abilities are static and unchangeable. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges, give up easily, and are afraid of failure because they believe that their abilities are predetermined and cannot be developed. A fixed mindset can severely hinder self-discipline because it leads to a fear of failure and a tendency to shy away from difficult tasks. By adopting a growth mindset, you open yourself up to continuous improvement and resilience, which are essential for staying disciplined and achieving long-term success. One of the most important aspects of developing mental toughness is learning how to embrace discomfort. In order to build self-discipline, you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone and push through discomfort. This can involve physical discomfort, such as pushing yourself to exercise when you're tired, or emotional discomfort, such as confronting difficult emotions or dealing with challenging feedback. Mental toughness involves the ability to withstand discomfort and keep moving forward, knowing that growth and progress often come from pushing through challenges. When you face discomfort, it's easy to succumb to negative emotions like frustration, fear, or self-doubt. However, it's important to recognize that these emotions are part of the process. They are not signs of failure, but indicators that you are stretching beyond your current limits. Mental toughness is not about eliminating negative emotions but about managing them effectively. When you feel discomfort or resistance, remind yourself that it's a natural part of growth, and that pushing through it will make you stronger and more capable in the long run. Another key to mental toughness is developing emotional control. Our emotions are powerful and can significantly influence our behavior and decision-making. However, relying solely on our emotions to dictate our actions can lead to impulsive decisions, procrastination, or a lack of consistency. Mental toughness involves the ability to manage your emotions rather than allowing them to control you. This means recognizing when negative emotions like frustration, anxiety, or stress arise and learning how to respond to them in a productive way. One effective way to manage emotions is through self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to control your impulses, manage your stress, and stay focused on your goals, even when emotions are running high. This can be achieved through techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or journaling. When you feel overwhelmed or emotionally charged, take a step back and pause. By creating space between your emotional reaction and your response, you can make more thoughtful decisions and maintain your focus on the task at hand. Developing mental toughness also requires cultivating a strong sense of self-belief. Self-belief is the confidence in your own abilities to handle challenges, learn from failure, and continue making progress toward your goals. Without self-belief, it's easy to become discouraged and give up when things get tough. When you believe in yourself, you are more likely to take risks, persist in the face of adversity, and stay committed to your goals. One of the most powerful ways to build self-belief is by setting and achieving small, manageable goals. Every time you achieve a goal, no matter how small, it reinforces your confidence and strengthens your belief in your abilities. Celebrate these wins and use them as evidence that you are capable of handling larger challenges. Over time, as you accumulate successes, your self-belief will grow, and your mental toughness will become stronger. Another important aspect of mental toughness is perseverance. Perseverance is the ability to keep going, even when progress feels slow or obstacles seem insurmountable. It's about continuing to work toward your goals, despite setbacks, failures, or moments of doubt. Building perseverance requires patience and a long-term perspective. It's important to recognize that success is rarely achieved overnight, and that the path to achieving your goals is often winding and filled with challenges. To develop perseverance, it's essential to maintain resilience in the face of failure. Failure is an inevitable part of any journey towards success, and how you respond to it can make all the difference. Instead of viewing failure as a reason to give up, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflect on what went wrong, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Resilience is about bouncing back from setbacks, staying flexible, and adapting to new circumstances. The more resilient you become, the easier it will be to stay disciplined and continue pursuing your goals, no matter how many times you fail. Finally, it's important to recognize that building mental toughness is a lifelong process. It's not something that happens overnight, but something that you cultivate over time through consistent effort and practice. The more you challenge yourself, face discomfort, and work on emotional control, the stronger your mental toughness will become. It's about continually pushing the limits of what you're capable of, learning from your experiences, and improving with each step. In conclusion, mindset and mental toughness are essential components of self-discipline. They allow you to persevere through challenges, manage your emotions, and stay focused on your long-term goals. By cultivating a growth mindset, embracing discomfort, practicing self-regulation, building self-belief, and developing perseverance, you can strengthen your mental toughness and achieve success in every area of your life. Chapter 11. Building resilience through challenges. Resilience is one of the most critical qualities needed for long-term success. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But how we respond to these obstacles determines whether we succeed or give up. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, learn from failure, and keep pushing forward despite difficulties. Developing resilience is an essential part of mastering self-discipline because it equips you with the mental strength to endure hardships and stay committed to your goals even when the going gets tough. In this chapter, we will explore the concept of resilience, how it relates to self-discipline, and strategies for building this vital trait. At its core, resilience is about mental toughness and emotional flexibility. It's not about avoiding or ignoring the challenges that life throws at us, but about developing the strength to face them head-on, recover quickly from setbacks, and adapt to new circumstances. Resilient individuals don't let obstacles define them. They understand that challenges are an inevitable part of growth, and they see them as opportunities to learn and improve. Resilience is what allows you to maintain your focus, energy, and determination, even when the road ahead seems difficult or uncertain. One of the first steps in building resilience is developing a positive mindset. Our mindset shapes how we interpret and respond to the challenges we encounter. People with a fixed mindset often see setbacks as proof that they're not capable or that they'll never succeed. In contrast, those with a growth mindset view obstacles as temporary and surmountable. They understand that failure is a natural part of the learning process and doesn't reflect their inherent abilities. By adopting a growth mindset, you can shift your perspective on challenges and view them as stepping stones toward personal development and success. A growth mindset is rooted in the belief that abilities and intelligence can be cultivated through effort, perseverance, and learning. When faced with adversity, individuals with a growth mindset see the situation as an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. This mindset fosters resilience because it enables you to view obstacles not as threats to your success, but as opportunities for growth. Embrace challenges as part of your journey and use them to build your skills, knowledge, and inner strength. The more you practice this mindset, the more resilient you will become in the face of setbacks. Another key element of resilience is the ability to embrace discomfort. Growth and success rarely come without difficulty. The process of achieving your goals involves pushing beyond your comfort zone, confronting challenges, and dealing with discomfort. When you encounter resistance, whether physical, emotional, or mental, it's natural to want to retreat to what feels safe. However, resilience is built when you push through discomfort and take action. Even when it's hard, every time you face a challenge, take it as an opportunity to strengthen your resilience and prove to yourself that you are capable of handling adversity. Emotional regulation also plays a critical role in resilience. When we face difficulties, it's easy to become overwhelmed by negative emotions, such as frustration, fear, or self-doubt. These emotions can cloud our judgment and lead us to abandon our goals or retreat from challenges. Developing emotional resilience involves learning how to manage these emotions effectively and prevent them from derailing our progress. Instead of allowing negative emotions to take control, resilient individuals use emotional regulation strategies to stay grounded and focused. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, journaling, or simply taking a pause can help you regain emotional balance and stay on track. The ability to persevere in the face of setbacks is another hallmark of resilience. Perseverance is the determination to keep going, even when progress is slow or when you encounter obstacles. It's about sticking with your goals over the long term, despite challenges or delays. Building perseverance requires you to cultivate patience and a long-term perspective. Remember, success is rarely achieved overnight. It's the small, consistent efforts over time that lead to meaningful results. Perseverance also involves learning from mistakes and failures. Instead of giving up, view each setback as an opportunity to adjust your approach and keep moving forward. One of the most effective ways to build resilience is by developing a support system. Resilience doesn't mean you have to face challenges alone. Having a network of supportive friends, family, mentors, or colleagues can provide the encouragement, guidance, and perspective you need when facing difficult situations. Resilient individuals understand the importance of leaning on others for support and seeking advice when necessary. Don't be afraid to ask for help, share your struggles, or reach out for emotional support. Having a strong support system provides both emotional strength and practical solutions for overcoming obstacles. Equally important is the ability to self-reflect and learn from past experiences. Every challenge and setback offers valuable lessons, whether it's about improving your strategy, building new skills, or managing your emotions. Self-reflection allows you to evaluate how you've handled adversity in the past, identify areas for improvement, and develop strategies for dealing with future challenges. By learning from your experiences, you grow stronger and more resilient each time you face difficulty. Journaling, meditation, or simply taking time to reflect on your progress can help you gain insights and build resilience. Goal setting also plays a crucial role in building resilience. Setting clear, achievable goals provides direction and motivation, even when you face setbacks. Break down large, long-term goals into smaller, manageable steps and focus on achieving one step at a time. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how small, as it provides a sense of accomplishment and keeps you motivated to keep going. Having clear goals also helps you maintain perspective when challenges arise. Instead of being overwhelmed by obstacles, you can keep your eyes on the bigger picture and remember that each setback is just a temporary hurdle on your journey. One of the most important aspects of resilience is self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you experience setbacks, but this negative self-talk only makes it harder to bounce back. Resilient individuals practice self-compassion by treating themselves with kindness and understanding, especially in moments of failure. Instead of berating yourself, offer yourself encouragement and empathy. Recognize that mistakes are a part of growth, and don't let them define you. By practicing self-compassion, you can recover from setbacks more quickly and maintain your resilience in the face of challenges. Finally, remember that building resilience is a lifelong process. It's not something that happens overnight, but rather something that you cultivate over time through consistent effort and practice. The more challenges you face and overcome, the stronger your resilience becomes. Embrace each obstacle as an opportunity to learn and grow, and remember that your ability to persevere and bounce back will be a key factor in your long-term success. In conclusion, resilience is an essential trait for developing self-discipline and achieving long-term success. It involves adopting a growth mindset, embracing discomfort, regulating emotions, persevering through setbacks, and learning from challenges. By building resilience, you not only strengthen your ability to stay disciplined, but also increase your capacity to handle the inevitable ups and downs of life. Chapter 12. Accountability and support systems. Self-discipline is often thought of as an individual trait, something that comes from within, something that we must develop and maintain by ourselves. However, this view overlooks one of the most powerful tools in cultivating and sustaining self-discipline. It's accountability. Whether it's to a friend, a coach, or a colleague, having someone who holds you accountable can be the difference between success and failure. Accountability isn't just about checking in with someone to see if you've completed a task. It's about having someone who motivates, challenges, and supports you in your journey toward achieving your goals. This chapter will explore the importance of accountability and how to build support systems that encourage growth and success. At its core, accountability is about responsibility. It's the act of being answerable to someone or something for your actions. When it comes to self-discipline, accountability provides external motivation to stay on track. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals, progress, and challenges creates a sense of obligation that can encourage you to follow through, even on days when motivation is low. Accountability partners, whether they are friends, mentors, or colleagues, provide that extra push to keep you moving forward. One of the key benefits of accountability is that it helps you stay consistent. Self-discipline is often about developing positive habits that you practice day in and day out. But building new habits can be challenging, especially when the initial excitement wears off. This is where accountability comes in. When you have someone to check in with regularly, you're more likely to stay consistent with your actions. For example, if your goal is to work out every morning, having an accountability partner who asks about your progress or works out with you can help you stay committed to your exercise routine. Accountability turns your goals into commitments, which makes it harder to put them off or abandon them. Another key advantage of accountability is that it helps you maintain focus. In our world full of distractions, it's easy to lose track of our priorities and get sidetracked by less important tasks. When you are accountable to someone, you're less likely to waste time on activities that don't contribute to your long-term goals. An accountability partner can help you stay focused on what truly matters. For instance, if your goal is to finish a project by a certain deadline, having someone to check in with can ensure that you stay on course and don't get distracted by smaller, less important tasks. Regular check-ins provide an opportunity to assess your progress and adjust your actions as needed. Support systems are equally crucial in maintaining self-discipline. A support system is made up of the people around you who offer encouragement, guidance, and assistance when needed. Having a strong support system is vital because it helps you maintain a positive mindset and build resilience when challenges arise. When you have people who believe in you, it's easier to keep going, even when things get tough. A support system provides not only emotional support, but also practical resources and advice that can help you overcome obstacles and stay focused on your goals. There are several ways to build a solid support system. Mentors and coaches are invaluable resources for both accountability and support. A mentor is someone who has experience and knowledge in a particular area and can offer guidance, feedback, and encouragement. A mentor can help you stay focused, provide advice on overcoming obstacles, and hold you accountable to your goals. Similarly, a coach can offer structured support, whether it's for fitness, business, or personal development. Coaches help you break down your goals into actionable steps, track your progress, and provide motivation to push through challenges. Friends and family members also play an important role in your support system. While they may not have the professional expertise of a mentor or coach, they can offer emotional support and encouragement, particularly during difficult times. It's important to share your goals with those who genuinely care about you and who want to see you succeed. When your loved ones are invested in your success, they can provide motivation, remind you of your why, and cheer you on during your journey. In addition to external accountability and support, it's important to build internal accountability as well. While external sources of accountability are crucial, you must also develop the internal discipline to hold yourself accountable. Internal accountability is about taking personal responsibility for your actions and ensuring that you follow through on your commitments, even when no one else is watching. To cultivate internal accountability, it's helpful to set clear goals, track your progress and regularly reflect on your actions. By building internal accountability, you increase your self-discipline and make it easier to stay committed to your goals. To build a strong support system, it's important to actively seek out people who align with your values and goals. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. This doesn't mean cutting out friends or family members who may not share the same goals, but it does mean being intentional about the relationships you invest in. Look for individuals who have qualities or achievements that you admire and who are willing to support you on your journey. One way to do this is by joining communities or groups that are focused on similar goals. Whether it's a fitness group, a business mastermind, or an online support forum, joining a community of like-minded individuals can provide a wealth of resources, advice, and motivation. These communities create a sense of belonging and shared purpose, which can increase your commitment to your own goals. Being part of a supportive community provides opportunities to learn from others, share experiences, and gain encouragement when faced with challenges. An essential part of creating accountability and support systems is clear communication. Whether you're working with a mentor, a coach, or a friend, it's important to set expectations and communicate your needs. Be clear about your goals, the type of support you're seeking, and the level of involvement you need from others. This ensures that everyone is on the same page and that you get the most out of your support system. Additionally, make sure to keep the lines of communication open throughout your journey. Regular check-ins, feedback, and updates allow you to stay on track and adjust your approach if needed. Finally, remember that accountability and support systems are not one-time fixes. They are ongoing partnerships. As you grow and progress, your needs for accountability and support may change. Be open to reassessing your relationships and adjusting your support system to ensure that it continues to meet your needs. Consistently investing in your support system will keep you motivated, resilient, and focused on your goals. In conclusion, accountability and support systems are vital for developing and maintaining self-discipline. Having someone to hold you accountable, whether a mentor, coach, or peer, provides the external motivation to stay focused and consistent. A strong support system offers the encouragement and guidance you need to overcome challenges and stay on track with your goals. By building both external and internal accountability, you create a solid foundation for long-term success. Chapter 13. Maintaining self-discipline for the long term. Developing self-discipline is a powerful first step, but maintaining it over the long term is where the true challenge lies. In the early stages of setting a goal or making a change, motivation often feels abundant. The excitement of new habits and the thrill of progress drive us forward, making it relatively easy to stay on track. However, as time passes, maintaining momentum can become harder, and distractions, fatigue, and even self-doubt can undermine our efforts. That's why sustaining self-discipline is a long-term commitment that requires consistent effort, adaptability, and persistence. In this chapter, we will explore strategies for maintaining self-discipline over time, ensuring that your hard-won habits and goals continue to flourish in the face of challenges. One of the first things to recognize when it comes to maintaining self-discipline is that motivation is not enough. Motivation is often fleeting, fluctuating with your mood, circumstances, and the progress you've made. When you rely solely on motivation, you may find yourself struggling on days when enthusiasm wanes or when life gets tough. This is why discipline needs to be rooted in habit. By building habits that align with your long-term goals, you automate positive behaviors, reducing the need for willpower and motivation to stay on track. A key strategy for maintaining self-discipline is to focus on consistency rather than perfection. The pursuit of perfection can often become a trap, leading to frustration and burnout when things don't go as planned. It's important to understand that long-term success is not about being perfect every single day. It's about staying consistent over time. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum makes it easier to stay disciplined, even on the days when motivation is low. Small, steady actions over time, compound and lead to significant progress. So, instead of aiming for perfection, aim for progress. When you fall short of your expectations, don't give up, simply refocus and get back on track. Another key factor in maintaining self-discipline is the ability to adapt. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and sometimes the plan you've set out for yourself will no longer work due to unforeseen circumstances. In these moments, it's essential to be flexible and willing to adjust your approach without abandoning your goals. Adaptation might mean adjusting your schedule, rethinking how you tackle a particular task, or even modifying your goals to make them more realistic. For example, if you've been aiming for a daily workout routine but are struggling to fit it into your schedule, you might adjust your plan to incorporate shorter, more flexible workout sessions that still align with your overall fitness goals. By staying adaptable, you protect your self-discipline from the inevitable disruptions that life will throw your way. To maintain self-discipline, it's also important to track your progress. Regularly monitoring your efforts helps you stay connected to your goals and ensures that you're making the progress you want. Tracking can take many forms, from checking off tasks on a to-do list to journaling about your experiences or using apps to monitor your habits. Seeing tangible evidence of your progress boosts motivation and reinforces your commitment to your goals. Additionally, tracking your progress gives you an opportunity to evaluate what's working and what's not, allowing you to make adjustments as needed. If you haven't been making as much progress as you'd like, tracking can highlight areas where you need to put in more effort or reconsider your strategy. Part of maintaining self-discipline also involves celebrating small wins along the way. In the pursuit of long-term goals, it's easy to get discouraged by the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Celebrating milestones, even small ones, helps you stay motivated and reinforces the habit you're building. For instance, if your goal is to save a certain amount of money, celebrate every time you reach a new savings milestone, no matter how small. Similarly, if you're working on building a fitness routine, celebrate every time you complete a workout or hit a personal best. Recognizing these achievements reminds you that progress is happening and reinforces your commitment to continue working toward your goal. Another essential aspect of long-term self-discipline is managing setbacks. No one's journey to success is linear, and setbacks are inevitable. Whether it's missing a deadline, falling off track with your goals, or facing a challenge that seems insurmountable, setbacks are a natural part of the process. What separates those who maintain self-discipline from those who give up is how they respond to setbacks. When faced with a setback, resist the temptation to give up or feel discouraged. Instead, practice resilience. Take a step back, assess what went wrong, learn from it, and refocus on the next steps. Remember that a setback is not a reflection of your ability to succeed. It's simply part of the learning process. The key to long-term self-discipline is not avoiding setbacks, but learning how to handle them with grace and perseverance. In addition to resilience, it's also important to maintain balance. Long-term self-discipline doesn't mean working non-stop or focusing solely on one area of your life. It's about creating a sustainable approach that allows you to prioritize your goals while maintaining balance in other areas of your life, such as relationships, self-care, and relaxation. If you push yourself too hard in one area and neglect others, you risk burnout and losing the drive to continue. By scheduling time for rest, recreation, and reflection, you ensure that you can maintain your self-discipline over the long term without feeling drained or overwhelmed. Balance keeps your energy levels up and your mindset positive, which ultimately supports your long-term success. Another critical factor in maintaining self-discipline is having a clear sense of purpose. When you're deeply connected to why you're working toward a particular goal, it's easier to stay disciplined, even on challenging days. Your purpose acts as a guiding light, reminding you of the bigger picture and the reasons why the effort is worth it. Regularly remind yourself of your why, by reflecting on your goals and writing down what achieving them will mean for you and those around you. When you're clear about your purpose, it becomes easier to overcome obstacles and stay committed to your long-term success. Finally, maintaining self-discipline for the long term requires self-compassion. There will be times when you slip up, miss a deadline, or fall short of your expectation. Rather than beating yourself up, practice kindness and understanding. Recognize that mistakes are part of the process and use them as opportunities to learn and grow. Self-compassion allows you to bounce back from setbacks without losing motivation, helping you stay on course even when things don't go as planned. In conclusion, maintaining self-discipline over the long term requires consistency, adaptability, resilience, and balance. It's about building habits that don't rely on fleeting motivation, tracking your progress, and celebrating small wins along the way. Setbacks are inevitable, but by practicing resilience and self-compassion, you can overcome them and keep moving forward. By staying connected to your purpose and maintaining balance in all areas of your life, you'll ensure that your self-discipline lasts and helps you achieve lasting success. Chapter 14. Achieving anything. The ultimate reward of self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the most powerful tools available to us when it comes to achieving anything we set our minds to. Whether you're striving for personal growth, professional success, or mastering a specific skill, self-discipline is the foundation on which all success is built. However, the true reward of self-discipline is not just about reaching your goals, but about the person you become in the process. In this chapter, we will explore how self-discipline unlocks the potential to achieve anything, and how mastering it leads to not only external success, but internal growth, confidence, and fulfillment. At the heart of self-discipline is the ability to take consistent action toward your goals. While motivation may come and go, self-discipline ensures that you keep moving forward, regardless of how you feel. The ultimate reward of self-discipline is the accomplishment of goals that once seemed out of reach. Whether it's running a marathon, writing a book, building a successful business, or becoming an expert in a particular field, self-discipline is the thread that holds it all together. Every action you take, every decision to stay focused and push through obstacles, brings you one step closer to achieving what you set out to do. But the benefits of self-discipline extend beyond just achieving external goals. In fact, the process of building and maintaining self-discipline itself brings about profound personal transformation. One of the most significant rewards of mastering self-discipline is the growth of inner strength. As you consistently choose to take disciplined actions, whether it's exercising, studying, or working toward any other goal, you develop mental toughness, resilience, and a deep sense of pride in your ability to follow through. This inner strength becomes an invaluable asset in all areas of life, allowing you to face challenges with confidence and perseverance. When you set and achieve goals through self-discipline, you not only prove to yourself that you can do it, but you also build self-trust. Trusting yourself is a critical aspect of personal development. Self-discipline teaches you to follow through on your commitments, which reinforces the belief that you can rely on yourself to get things done. This self-trust boosts your confidence and empowers you to tackle even bigger challenges. Each time you achieve a goal, you demonstrate to yourself that you are capable, and this growing confidence becomes a powerful motivator for future success. Achieving anything through self-discipline also gives you a sense of purpose. Self-discipline is a tool that helps you stay connected to your deeper values and long-term vision. When you are disciplined in your actions, you remain focused on what truly matters to you, rather than getting sidetracked by fleeting distractions. This connection to your purpose helps you stay grounded, even when the journey becomes difficult. It gives meaning to your daily actions and creates a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond the completion of a specific goal. The pursuit of a meaningful goal, powered by self-discipline, turns everyday tasks into steps toward living a life that reflects your values. One of the greatest rewards of self-discipline is the freedom it provides. At first glance, Self-discipline might seem like a rigid and restrictive concept. However, true self-discipline is liberating because it allows you to control your actions and create the life you desire. It is the freedom to act according to your values, to prioritize what is important, and to consistently work toward your long-term goals. With self-discipline, you are no longer at the mercy of distractions, impulses, or external circumstances. You have the power to shape your future through intentional actions, whether it's having the discipline to save money, build a career, or take care of your health. The freedom that comes with self-discipline is unparalleled. Self-discipline also provides a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. There is immense joy and pride in knowing that you are doing the work, showing up every day, and making progress toward your goals. Each small success along the way builds momentum and reinforces your belief in your ability to achieve great things. The sense of accomplishment that comes with consistent effort is not only rewarding in the moment, but it also creates a foundation for future success. As you continue to build on your achievements, the confidence and satisfaction you gain from reaching one goal propels you toward the next. Furthermore, mastering self-discipline allows you to overcome limitations and expand your potential. Most people are capable of far more than they realize. Our minds often tell us we are too tired, too busy, or not skilled enough to reach our full potential. However, through self-discipline, you push past these limitations. You prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving much more than you thought possible. Every time you overcome a challenge and stay disciplined in your actions, you expand your potential and break through self-imposed barriers. This mindset shift leads to continuous growth and achievement. Self-discipline also enhances your ability to inspire others. When you live a disciplined life and demonstrate your commitment to your goals, you become a role model for those around you. Whether it's your friends, family, or colleagues, your dedication and perseverance can motivate others to develop their own self-discipline. The ripple effect of your actions can help others realize their potential and take their own steps toward achieving their goals. The reward of inspiring others to succeed is a powerful reminder that self-discipline not only benefits you, but also contributes to the success and well-being of those around you. In addition to personal growth, self-discipline has a direct impact on long-term happiness and fulfillment. True happiness doesn't come from momentary pleasure or instant gratification. It comes from the satisfaction of pursuing meaningful goals and seeing them through to completion. When you practice self-discipline, you focus on what truly matters and align your actions with your long-term vision. This brings a deep sense of fulfillment, as you know that the efforts you put in today are building the life you desire. The gratification that comes from achieving your goals through self-discipline is not only more enduring, but also more rewarding than the fleeting satisfaction of indulgence or procrastination. Ultimately, the greatest reward of self-discipline is the person you become in the process. As you develop self-discipline, you cultivate qualities such as resilience, focus, patience, and emotional strength. These qualities enrich all areas of your life, allowing you to approach challenges with confidence, build meaningful relationships, and achieve success in ways that align with your values. Through self-discipline, you unlock your true potential and create a life that is purposeful, fulfilling, and abundant. In conclusion, the ultimate reward of self-discipline is not just the achievement of your goals, but the transformation you undergo along the way. Self-discipline allows you to unlock your potential, overcome limitations, and achieve anything you set your mind to. It empowers you to live a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment, and it creates a ripple effect that inspires others to do the same. The journey of mastering self-discipline is one of continuous growth, and the rewards are limitless. As you apply the principles of self-discipline in your own life, remember that the true reward is not only what you achieve, but who you become in the process. Conclusion. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored the powerful role that self-discipline plays in achieving our goals and transforming our lives. From understanding its fundamental principles to building habits, overcoming procrastination, managing time effectively, and fostering mental toughness, we've delved into the key components that make up a disciplined life. As we come to the end of this journey, it's important to reflect on everything we've covered and think about how to continue applying these lessons moving forward. The real reward of mastering self-discipline isn't just about accomplishing individual goals, it's about the deeper transformation that takes place as you develop this vital skill. First and foremost, self-discipline is a choice. Every day, you decide whether to act in alignment with your long-term goals or give in to short-term temptations. The more you choose self-discipline, the more natural it becomes. While motivation might fade, discipline becomes a reliable foundation on which you can build your success. This audiobook has shown that self-discipline is not a trait reserved for the lucky or the naturally talented. It is a skill that can be cultivated by anyone willing to commit to personal growth. Through small, consistent actions, you can strengthen your ability to remain focused, resilient, and consistent, even when the journey gets tough. One of the most important takeaways is the realization that habits are the building blocks of self-discipline. Whether it's waking up early to exercise, setting aside time for deep work, or practicing mindfulness daily, small habits compound over time and lead to significant progress. Establishing habits that align with your values makes it easier to stay on track with your goals. Once these habits become ingrained in your daily routine, they require less mental effort and become automatic, reducing the need for constant motivation or willpower. Remember, it's not about perfection. Consistency is the key to developing lasting self-discipline. As you reflect on your own goals and aspirations, it's essential to keep in mind that resilience is an integral part of the self-discipline journey. Setbacks and challenges are inevitable, but how you respond to them will define your long-term success. The ability to bounce back from failure, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up along the way. Embrace adversity as an opportunity to grow, not as an obstacle to your success. Developing resilience builds not only your mental toughness, but also your confidence, and each challenge you overcome will make you stronger. Another critical aspect of maintaining self-discipline is the importance of accountability and support systems. While self-discipline can be an individual practice, it's significantly enhanced by the presence of others. Whether it's a mentor, friend, or accountability partner, having someone who supports and holds you accountable makes a huge difference. It provides motivation, encouragement, and guidance when you need it most. Don't be afraid to reach out for help or share your progress with others. Having a strong support network can help you stay committed, remind you of your purpose, and offer a fresh perspective when things feel overwhelming. As you continue on your path toward mastering self-discipline, remember to keep a clear sense of purpose. Your why will provide the drive and motivation necessary to persist through challenges. Self-discipline is ultimately a means to an end. It's the tool that helps you create the life you want. Whether your goals involve personal development, career success, health, or relationships, always connect your daily actions to your larger vision. When you are clear about your purpose, it's easier to stay focused, and you'll find greater meaning in the work you put in. Furthermore, embrace flexibility and adaptability in your approach. Life will always throw curveballs, and your original plans may need to be adjusted. Being too rigid in your methods can lead to frustration when things don't go according to plan. However, being adaptable allows you to overcome obstacles and stay on course. Self-discipline doesn't mean stubbornly sticking to a plan that no longer serves you. It's about recalibrating when necessary, keeping your goals in mind, and continuing to work toward them in the best way possible. As we conclude, I want to emphasize that self-discipline is a lifelong practice. There will always be new challenges, new goals, and new opportunities for growth. Every time you choose to act in accordance with your values and stay committed to your path, you're strengthening your self-discipline muscle. Keep building on what you've learned throughout this audiobook and continue to develop your habits, mindset, and resilience. The journey is ongoing, and each step you take will get you closer to the person you want to become and the life you want to create. In the end, Self-discipline is about more than achieving specific goals. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about developing the strength, focus, and perseverance to overcome challenges and stay committed to your dreams, no matter how long the road may seem. Remember, the true rewards of self-discipline are the growth and transformation that take place along the way. You have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to, and with self-discipline as your guide, there are no limits to what you can accomplish. So, as you move forward in your life, take pride in the progress you've made, and trust in your ability to continue growing. Stay disciplined, stay resilient, and always remember that your potential is limitless.